Hi everyone, I'm Ruth Abraham and I want to take you back to the end of 2018. After 12 years of marriage, I asked my husband for a divorce. I was a stay-at-home mom with a 9-year-old daughter. And making that decision, well, it was one of the hardest things I ever did. It made me think, what did I just do? What's going to happen to me? But I also had that quiet voice underneath all that fear saying, you know what? Something needed to change. So it all started with a phone call. My ex-husband has been pressuring me for months to find a job. And then suddenly he says, you know what? You don't have to find a job. Well, that may seem supportive for many people, but to me it landed as control. It was a reminder that the dynamic between us was just not going to shift. And at that moment, I knew I was done. So I told him, and then when I hung up the phone, I just fell apart. One thing I've learned about healing is that the hardest part is not always making the decision to divorce. It's the emotions that come after. And it's okay to fall apart. But it's also okay to imagine the possibilities that's on the other side of the pain. When I look back on it, the hardest moment was not the conversation with my ex-husband. It was telling our daughter. She was 9.5, and I was the one explaining it to her while he sat silently next to me. She cried, and she begged God to fix it, and even yelled at me to stop talking. I felt deflated, and I felt like a villain. But when I finished speaking, something that I totally did not expect happened. She ran into my arms and gave me the biggest bear hug, and right then I knew we're going to be okay. And here's what I know now. Even in heartbreak, love still finds a way through. Energy resonates, so if you stay grounded, your children will sense it, even if it feels impossible in that moment. Like anyone else who's married, I never thought I'd get divorced, but I always paid attention to how people did it. I watched people go from love to hate, from I love you forever to I never want to see you again. And I thought, does it really have to be that way? I knew I wanted something different, so I suggested that we go through mediation, which he agreed to. I walked into the office nervous but calm. I didn't know how he was going to show up, but I knew how I wanted to. I felt sad, numb, and even guilty, but I made a choice. I would not be bitter, and I was not going to let hatred drive this. Surprisingly, he showed up externally calm. Despite someone who once told me that he was going to be the biggest blank if I ever left, he was centered. We focused on what truly mattered, which was our daughter. We didn't fight over the petty little things, and we finalized our divorce within 4 months. The biggest part of healing is that you get to choose how you show up every step of the way. Anger is valid, but peace is powerful. So if your ex wants to show up differently, let them. That is about them, not you. 2 months after our divorce, my ex started dating someone. And yes, that totally stung. 6 years later, they married and added her 3 kids into the family. At that point, it made me question everything. Did he really love me? Was I that replaceable? Was I ever going to find love again? But then I caught myself and said, you know what? That's just a thought. That is not fact. And healing means getting honest about the stories that we tell ourselves. You can feel your sadness, but don't believe every thought it brings. Some are just echoes of grief, and they're not true. So when I was going through my divorce, I really got into my journaling. I've been journaling since 1998. And it helps me get centered. It helps me see where my blind spots may be. And so through my divorce, I had so many thoughts and so many feelings that were bottled up inside, and I just could not express them verbally. So I turned it into my journal. It helped me self-reflect of where I was and how I was going to get to the next step. So if you're in your journal journey right now, continue it because it is going to help you get through this process. And if you haven't started journaling yet, download my prompts. I have 25 prompts to get you started. And if you have been journaling, you can even go deeper. Because again, journaling is all about self-reflection. And through this process, It is going to help you heal. Today, my ex-husband and I co-parent our 15-year-old respectively. I spent the last 6 years growing into the woman that I was always meant to be. In my marriage, I did lose myself. I was trying to avoid conflict and make my ex-husband happy. But after the divorce, I made a decision. I was going to find my confidence again, my joy and my independence. And this is the real heart of healing, coming home to yourself. I asked myself, what kind of life do I want now? Not for anyone else, but for me. I started choosing what kind of energy I wanted in my home, what kind of partner I wanted to be, and what kind of mom and woman that I wanted to show up as. And I knew I wasn't going to stay stuck in bitterness because in the end, it wasn't going to hurt anyone else but me. So if you're in the middle of a divorce or you're healing from one, here's what I want you to know. It's okay not to be okay. Whether it's 1 or 30 years, the divorce is the end of a chapter. And it's okay to feel all your feels, like being sad, afraid, or confused. But what's not okay is staying stuck in those places and letting them define your next chapter. You may have not chosen this divorce, but you do get to choose what happens next. Yes, divorce sucks, but it's also the beginning of something new. You get to choose what kind of furniture goes into your next dollhouse. You get to decide how you want to show up. So here's what helped me the most. I allow myself to feel my feelings and not let them control my story. I owned my part of the dance, but I did it with compassion and not with shame. I chose how I wanted to show up, even if it was messy at first. You have the power. You have a future, and you still have you. I was happy, confident, and independent before I got married. And now I have found that version of myself again, but even stronger. If my story resonated with you in any way, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I'd be happy to share more stories and tips for anyone going through big changes, especially the ones that you didn't see coming. So whether you're a woman or a man, my channel is a space for healing, for growth, and for learning to love yourself again. And after this video, don't forget to download my 25 self-reflective journaling prompts. Journaling is a healing process. It's going to help you self-reflect and really get to the heart of who you are and who you want to be in your next chapter.